Okay, today we are going to talk about the top 5 underrated rides or experiences, if you want to, in Disneyland. So I've been to Disneyland a bunch, and what we did one year was stay 5 days. So the first 3 days were just rides. And then the next couple of days, I wanted to do all the things that we never spend the time to get around to. So we're going to go through those 5 things that I found that were underrated, super special, and fun. So the 5th one, the canoes. I think that some of the best cast members that they have are in the canoes. You do have to power the canoes yourself, so that might make it more difficult. But the canoe cast members are hilarious. Did you know that every single day they have to bring water down to the canal? They are entertaining. You get to go for a ride on the river. I mean, it's amazing. So I would say my number 5 underrated ride, canoes. My number 4 underrated ride or experience is the Pirate's Lair on Tom Sawyer's Island. So this, you can't get over to that island, and it's right by the canoes. You can't get over to that island after a certain point in the day. So if you want to experience that, do it earlier in the day. It is super fun, especially if you have younger kids, because they have tunnels and caves and fun things. When we went over there, it's so neat because we're big Pirates of the Caribbean fans. They had a treasure chest, and it you could touch it, and it had a heartbeat in it, and the lights all dimmed. It's super interactive and fun. It's a whole island, so you can go and explore it and enjoy it. It's an experience that I felt like we'd missed out, and I didn't want to anymore. So I highly recommend hitting up the island, checking it out, having that experience. I think you can pull something up out of the water, like a skeleton on a crate or something like that. So there's fun things that you can do there as well, and it's fun for the kids and for the adults and young at heart. So that's my number 4, Pirate's Lair on Tom Sawyer's Island. My number 3 is the Disney Railroad. I feel like a lot of people just use this to get from one end of the park to the other, which is a great idea. Don't underrate that at all. Save your feet as much as humanly possible. But if you've ever wanted to ride around the whole thing, it's actually a ride. You will go through some parts where you'll see dinosaurs and different things. It's super not what you think it was. It's not just a transportation system. It's also a ride, an interactive experience, and it's fun. And it's open, so you're not dying of the heat if it's hot. And you're enjoying it. So I would say, check out the railroad. Stay on it. Stay on it all the way around, and then it's like a 15-minute ride, so it's not that big of a deal. My number 2 is the Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln. So I still remember this was one of those things I was like, I want to go do it. I just want to go see what the heck all the hoopla is about. Why is this so neat? Walt Disney loved Abraham Lincoln. He thought he was amazing, so he wanted this experience. And I'm laughing because we're sitting in the audience. They kind of do a history lesson, that sort of thing. And then this animatronic that's the size of Abraham Lincoln, which it looks very similar to him. Apparently his head alone is $1 million. And he's sitting there and he's talking to the audience, and he's doing some movements like a human. And then all of a sudden he stands up. And it freaked me out. So when he stood up, I was like, out loud, way too loud for an audience, a quiet audience. I was like, what the freak? What the heck just happened? So loud. But super fun. Woo, not expecting that. If you go to Disney World, they have a whole theater full of all the presidents, and they're all standing up and freaking you out. But just to have one stand up and just scare me to death was awesome. So I recommend it if you want to, be freaked out by a very large animatronic. Okay, my number 1. This is actually a ride that I never skip because it is so special to me. And I think some people skip it because they're like, nah, it's, bleh. It's the Storybook Land Canal Boats. Here's why it is my number 1. Go on it at night. So it's so fun to see it during the day anyway. You got the crazy ducks that are trying to pick apart Peter Pan in the middle of the thing, and you can see a little bit more of the foliage and that sort of thing. But if you go at night, it is so cool because they light up all of the little castles and all of the little buildings. And if you're listening, you obviously have your cast member tour guide that tells you all about the buildings and that sort of thing, but you can hear the songs coming from the different lands. And it has just different lands from all the Disney movies. And it's like, oh. And if you turn around at the very end of the alarm, cut me off. Okay, so on the Storybook ride, if you look back at the very end of the ride, behind the little waterfall that they have right there, you can actually see like the land where Ariel lived before she came to the actual land. So it's like her underwater sea. That's why they've got it behind the waterfall, but it's super cool. And it's all lit up and it's beautiful, and it just gives you an opportunity to immerse yourself in that, but in the dark. It's super fun. So those are my top 5 underrated rides or experiences in Disneyland.